Hello team, it's Rich, it's Neil, and it's Luke. Nice to meet you. Doesn't do a lot, does it? Anyway, we're going to find out what you need in your first game of junior cricket. So let's find out. Let's talk it through. Neil, we've coached millions of junior cricketers on the way through. We've always been asked a question of, I've got a game next week, what do I need?
Well, there's two things here, Rich. I think, as you say, we've coached loads of kids between us. I've had 3 kids grow up through this stage as well. So between us, we've hopefully got all the right answers. So, first and foremost,
no pressure.
If it's the first game of cricket,
yeah,
that might be incredible softball cricket.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're well versed at that. What we're going to focus on now is, most importantly, really exciting, first game of hardball cricket. What do we need for hardball cricket as a junior?
Yeah.
So, let's start at the top and maybe work down. We can use Luke here to hopefully assist us. On top, straight in, you're going to need a helmet. All under 18s have to wear a helmet when using a hard ball. There's plenty on the market, so don't worry too much. The key thing is getting the right fit and the right shape for your head. Lots of manufacturers do make helmets. If you're just getting into cricket, you're probably going to be starting at the value for money end. Let's get in entry level. Kookaburra do a great helmet, GM do a great helmet. Gray Nichols will do as well.
Yeah.
And you really, it's going to determine your head size.
It is, isn't it? You get standard protection. You get a few little gimmicks with each, like the bit at the back that adjustable.
Yep, little twisty to adjust.
Yeah, you've got a standard now grill, which is standard across all helmets. It just works, doesn't it? It's nice and simple.
Yeah, there's no adjusting the grill anymore. It will be a one fix. So you don't need to worry about any of that. It's choosing the right price point for a helmet.
Yeah.
And on most options, you'll get different sizes, which will be head circumferences of the child's head at the time. So work on that. You do need a nice snug fit. You don't want something loose and flapping around.
Yeah, like a baseball cap, you've got it stuck on, but it's not too tight.
So, hardball cricket, helmet, first thing.
Oh yes. Oh, we've got, obviously the other thing is you can go entry level, but you can also go a little bit more top end with something like a Missouri, so something a bit fancier. But again, if you're new to hardball cricket, we're always going to say, look, just if you borrow somebody's helmet or you're going to come in and get a lower level entry helmet, it's probably the best way to go to get started.
I think if you're unsure on sizes, then, and this is probably the most important item to size, grab a friend's one, have a chat with your coach at your club. There's probably a few helmets floating around at a session. You can try a couple on and then you know what you're ordering, or come in store.
Yeah.
So helmet done, tick.
Cool. Now, what else do we need?
Well, let's keep working down.
Come on then, let's have a little look. We've got some gloves, so we're going to need to protect our digits. We have here a basic set of kookaburras, a ghost. You've got right hand and left hand, so for some of us, you're going to need to know which way around you stand. So right hand's going to stand around this way, left hand's going to be the other way. But what really happens is it talks about the thumb, to be honest, and supporting the thumb and protecting the thumb. So here, Luke, very nice chap, batting right-handed, is going to protect his right thumb. So that just basically means his thumb on his right hand gets more protection. The left-hand thumb hides behind the bat, not a problem. And again, you're going to have lots and lots of options. So Kookaburra, Gray Nichols, Gunmore, all produce loads and loads of entry-level sort of gloves. Just again, come in and try them on. They are some different sizes. We've got juniors. We've got, sometimes you have extra small juniors as well. So, and I think the next one up is.
Then you head into youth, and then
into adult.
If anything, you can afford to be slightly bigger on a glove, as long as you still grip the bat. Moving down to the next essential though, pads. You don't want to be too big with these because then you can't run.
Yes.
And that is a basic fundamental of the game.
As cricket coaches, we see so many kids that have got pads that are too big and they struggle to run. And running at that age, they're not going to hit the ball off the square too often. And running is a massive part of the game. So just get them in something that protects them to a small degree, but lets them run.
What you'll find with pads is similar to gloves, you get left-handed and right-handed options. However, with pads, they do also offer an ambidextrous version, normally at the very entry level. They're more than suitable for anybody just starting. The only differences are in the wings. On a right hand, left hand, you get extra padding on a certain side, but for the standard of cricket that's being played at entry-level hardball, for your first pair of pads, then an ambidextrous pair is absolutely fine. It will provide you with a really good price point just to get started.
Yeah, useful. Cool.
So we're moving down, but it's worth at this point mentioning hardball cricket, by nature, dropping things everywhere. By nature of what it says on the tin, when using hardballs, cricket balls, boys will need to also wear what we call an abdo guard, or a box as it's often referred to. That is an essential for boys. If you're getting those, make sure you've got some underwear that can support it. Often a pair of jock shorts. It's got a little pouch for them to slide into, which makes it nice and comfortable. You will have to have that playing hardball cricket. Any girls out there, there's also a female version as well. That's not compulsory. There's a bit of a myth out there. You don't have to use them as a girl, but it is there if you would want to. I would say in the majority of girls that I coach, a very, very small percentage of them use them. Probably not even 3%. So, but it is there if it makes you feel more comfortable against the hardball.
Yeah, you go for it. Right. So we've gone pads.
Yeah.
Well, we probably should go to the next exciting bit, which is the old bat, isn't it?
That's the exciting bit, isn't it?
It is the exciting bit.
We've done all the peripheral stuff, the essentials, so helmet, gloves, box, and pads. What are you going to use?
Well,
what's your weapon?
What weapon of mass destruction? We have the option here of, so this one here is a cashmere willow. It's a size 1. It's a very small little job. You're looking at playing incredible cricket with this. You're probably not going to play hardball cricket, and you're looking at something like 25, 30 pounds. It's not going to break the bank, and it's just a really good bat to get you started. As I think Neil alluded to right at the very start, when you play a game, you're going to be told whether it's a hardball or softball game.
Yeah, so hardball tends to start at under 11 cricket. So if you're playing under 9 cricket, you're probably playing with Incredibles, softer balls. Cashmere willow bats are absolutely perfect for that. Yeah. They're not going to break the bank either, so a good way of getting started. Once we move into hardball cricket, it's going to be really beneficial if you move from cashmere willow into English willow. Now, there's only 2 types of cricket bat, cashmere willow, English willow. English willow is perfectly suited to hardball cricket for a number of reasons. Firstly, it's going to be able to sustain the ball when it's coming down at any sort of speed, but also you're then going to start to get performance. So if you're playing hardball cricket, I would certainly recommend and suggest to you that you get an English willow bat. It'd be much more enjoyable because the ball will come out of the willow a lot better and the bat will last. Using a cashmere willow bat for any sustained period of time will just destroy it, and that'll be the end of your bat, and you'll find yourself back in the shop buying another one. So once you get to an English willow bat though, there's lots of different varieties, and with that will come of lots of variation in price. What you're ultimately paying for is a better quality of willow. This Kookaburra one here is a Kahuna 7. That's at $59.99. However, this one here is $159.99 virtually. So £100 difference in bat, but that's purely down to the willow. Now, if it's your first experience of playing hardball cricket, you can put that one to one side and head more down here, because you just need something to get you going.
Yeah, to get you started, isn't it? That's the important bit.
So English willow bat.
Yeah, the other little thing I was going to say is when we've been watching the kids in the nets, quite often you know when somebody's bought a bat in a shop, and you know when they bought it online because they quite like it or they've got a good deal. Go into a shop when you're not sure about what you're getting and what you're picking up, because quite often junior bats come in a little bit heavier in some cases than others, and that has a huge effect on the performance of the bat, your performance. It just becomes harder to hit it. You can only do it for about 5 minutes. You don't bat, and if you bat for any length of time, you're just not getting any real reward out of your cricket bat. So
key thing probably is actually the size, isn't it?
That's
so
one, yeah.
Anybody in store will be able to give you some advice. Alternatively, have a look at our bat size guides, because they will give you, based on height and dimensions, the suitable bat for you. What you don't want, we see lots of kids coming into our coaching sessions with bats that are too big, too heavy, then they can't play, then they don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you've now got all the essentials that you need for a hardball game of cricket.
Yeah.
Helmet, gloves, box, pads, and your bat. That you don't need any more than that. You're absolutely fine and good to go. That would probably tick off the essentials list.
Yeah.
Then you're moving into additional optional extras that you'll start to see that kids have and adults as you go through. So you're going to need to probably consider a bag at some point.
Yes, I was thinking that.
This is a lot of kit now, and it all mounts up, and the poor youngster trying to get it all to any place is going to need a bag to put it in. Lots of manufacturers do lots of different bags. One's on wheels, one's over the shoulder, one's a duffel, all sorts of different varieties. So you probably want a bag to put in it, but again, not essential to start with. If you're working on a budget, you can use any type of sports bag you've got at home to put stuff in to start with. So that's the first one. Shoes.
Shoes. Oh, now shoes are an interesting one because we've got lots of options down here. So let's just talk you through what your options are. First up, you want to know what sort of pitch you're playing on, because if you're playing on an AstroTurf pitch or a grass pitch, there's going to be some different sort of footwear requirements. First up, first game, if you're on an AstroTurf pitch, do you know what? Just wear a pair of trainers, get used to the whole game, get used to what's going on. We do have some options here. So first up here, we've got some spikes. Now we haven't got the spikes in, but you've got a harder surface, sort of sole, and you can use those on a grass pitch. If you take the spikes out, you can put different types of spikes in, and you can use those on an AstroTurf pitch as well. Let's go along. We've got another spiked pair there. Let's see if we've been lucky enough. We have. So there's our rubber-soled shoes, which we definitely recommend. They're going to be a slightly cheaper version than the spiked shoe. There's a similar amount of protection. They just don't go quite as crazy as they do into and in depth as they do into a spiked shoe. They give you a little bit more of an option. But they're definitely a really good option for a AstroTurf pitch, first pair of cricket shoes. And again, all the manufacturers do them. We've got a couple of extra manufacturers really that jump in. So people like an Adidas jump in on that one. And you'll see a Painter as well. They're a very specialist shoe manufacturer. So again, now you've got your shoes in there as well. You've got lots of options. Can't go wrong, but do make sure you just check what pitches you're playing on as well. Because if your home pitch is an Astro pitch.
I think, so you're all suited and booted almost, for want of a better phrase, but you're ready to go, you've got everything you need. There are some other levels of protection that you can use to help, particularly if you're still a little bit nervous against a hard ball, or you've got a really quick bowler at your club who you're slightly maybe not a bit nervous of facing. So you can use what we call thigh pads. These days you'll get a variety of different ones, from ones that literally just strap onto your thigh, or this comes as a set which gives you a front and back leg sort of inner thigh pad and thigh pad combo. Either or works. Again, you don't want anything that's too big because it just becomes very clunky. If you've got slightly too bigger pads, slightly too bigger thigh pads, you can't actually run and you can't actually make any movements to play any decent shots. So that's probably your first bit of extra protection you'd go for. Luke here, on the other hand, he's got the full kit on. He's even got an arm guard on.
Is he doing well? He must play on some rubbish pitches, poor Luke.
He must do. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily recommend an arm guard from the outset, because I don't think that you need one to start with. Because the level of cricket when you're first playing at entry-level hardball, wickets are slightly likely to be low and slow anyway, but you don't really need an arm guard to start with. One thing I would mention, I think at this stage, we've talked very much about entry level into hardball cricket. Clearly there'll be some youngsters out there who are playing a good level of cricket at a young age as well. Now at that point, it's then worth considering spending a little bit more money, and for that you'll just really get extra level of protection, extra better quality willow when you're batting, so you'll get more value for your shots. Footwear wise, you're going to get good generic footwear with all the cricket equipment companies. You might end up spending more money to get a pair of Adidas or Painter or New Balance shoes, because they're specialist footwear companies. So there comes a time, doesn't there, when there'll be a time to spend a little bit more money and take that to the next step, and you've got to try and do it for the right reasons. But if you're just literally playing your first game of hardball cricket across the entry level, There's something for you in everything you need. But as a recap, because we've been through quite a lot there, as a recap, if you're playing hardball cricket, then you're going to need helmet, gloves, pads. You're going to need a box if you're playing boys cricket.
Yeah.
Optional for the girls, and you're going to need a bat that's suitable. Really try and get into English Willow if you can, and there's an entry level Willow starting point for all those options, from bats all the way through to helmets, gloves and pads.
So I think, as we've said all along, we probably have, there are size guides on our website for all the different products. The other big option we have is to go into a store and get kitted out by somebody that specifically knows and you can stand in front of, and they can see how tall you are and fit you up really. We'd always say that's the best option. Not always the most practical, but it is the best option.
Sadly, it's a bit of an investment up front at this point as a parent, because you're almost, if you're going from nothing to everything, you're almost buying one of everything to start with. Over time, your pads, your gloves, they'll probably last you 2 seasons. Helmet, you might even last you 3 seasons. So don't panic that you're gonna have to do this every single year. As the seasons go on, you'll just be replacing, upgrading, changing things as they grow out. So overall, really exciting time though. If you've got a youngster who's just going into hardball cricket, hopefully they're excited. I'm sure they'll be a little bit nervous, but with all the kit, they won't go wrong. And ultimately, get them hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Get them hitting the ball. That's the main line of defence. Go and use your bat, get them hitting the ball, and have some fun.
Yeah, and if you can do that, if you can get enough kit for them just to have a try of it, put it on before they play their match, then you're going to give them the best chance to do as well as they can. And fingers crossed it's all good. Team, we hope you stuck with us. That was a bit of a long one. There's lots of information in there. If you'd like to subscribe, please do to our channel. We put out lots of content. Give us the old thumbs up, and if you've got any comments or we've missed anything, please let us know. Don't be too nasty in the comments though.